Because that's not creepy.
I was like, wow, that's a little ominous.
That was freaky. Hello,
Oh,
everyone. Welcome to Laughing Place. Recap of day one of Genie Plus Individual Lightning Lane launched today, October 19th at Walt Disney World. We're so excited to talk about that first day in the parks. Jeremiah was there in a couple of parks. Rebecca was following along at home. I was doing as much as I could. And in case you haven't noticed, we do have a special guest for this show. We were able to get, don't tell the other competition out there, we were able to get the Genie himself here for this video. So everybody, please welcome the Genie.
Hi there, everyone. How you doing?
We've gone straight to the source here. If we don't have the answers can't be gotten. So my name is Doobie. I'm the co-founder of Laughing Place. Over there is Rebecca Mosley, my wife, and the other co-founder. Down below is Jeremiah Good, the vice president in charge of Oompa Loompas. And down there himself is the Genie, who we'll bring on when necessary. But right now, we'll let him take a break, catch his breath. He's had a busy day at Walt Disney World.
No, that was me. That was me.
I'm pretty sure that's the Genie.
no, I don't think you were doing anything. You're just playing in Disney.
Yeah.
All right. So, Jeremiah, you woke up early this morning to get started. Am I correct?
I did. I actually. So if you watch any of our Parks Talk yesterday, I was very aggravated at my phone waiting for the Walt Disney World app to update with the Genie Plus individual lightning lane, all that said stuff. I set an alarm for 3 o'clock. I woke up, I think, at 1 something or other and realized that the app had updated. I downloaded it and I started noticing right away that I actually had the ability to purchase Genie Plus this morning. I found that the first thing this morning, there were a few things with the app that was available that changed pretty quickly throughout the day. The smallest or the biggest was the Disney Photopass lenses. As you saw, our friend the Genie was there this morning in pitch black. As I downloaded everything, I could actually play with some of the lenses at home, including the Remy one that, as the day went on, was only available at Epcot. But there were small things. Some of the names changed. We saw the audio tails. I have a photo of the audio tails from each of the different parks, and at least one of the ones in Magic Kingdom disappeared before the system really went live today.
So I should also mention that we are live. So if you have any questions about Genie Plus, please put them in the Genie Plus. Please put them in the chat. We'll do our best to accommodate. So this morning you updated your app, and did you then just start planning your day? Did you start telling Genie what you wanted to do today?
I did. Because I had chosen Magic Kingdom, had my Park Pass reservation, had the ticket already set for it. I went in and started putting my top picks for attractions. One of the things that I did find was when we had the kind of the test of the app, they didn't go over all the details. And one of the things that they kind of left out was you can select up to 8 attractions that'll be put into your Genie planning day that does the step-by-step. As a regular to the parks, I actually kind of skipped the whole Genie section when I got to the parks, but when I was doing the planning, I definitely was putting in attractions and watching things kind of fall into place as how they were suggesting early before, of course, the park opened.
And so you put up a video, which was really nice. You were up late last night. You created a video of you setting up your Genie. So you selected your 8 attractions. What else did it ask you about in addition to the attractions you're interested in?
I mean, asked about dining. Disney extras, I think, is what it fell under, where fireworks, parades, characters, that type of thing. Thank you, Doobie, again for editing that together. So I did it all, then Doobie put it together, and we got it up on YouTube pretty quickly. I know that we had a couple of comments say that we were one of the first people to have something up. So it was nice to have that. Again, it is best for people out of town coming. The Genie it's your traffic app for the park. It gives you the step-by-step day of how to enjoy Magic Kingdom without really much of a need to do anything.
So now I watched your video, obviously, and you were doing it for 2 people. You select everything. You selected people in your party. You then purchased Genie Plus for 2 people. We have a question here. I hope you know the answer to. Is it possible to separate your party and your day so you don't have to do Genie Plus for everyone at the same time?
Absolutely. It's just like when you're doing a park pass reservation. Actually, I shouldn't say that. We've done this where the 3 of us have gone to the Magic King or to Disney's Hollywood Studios together. When Rebecca is doing her best back in the good old days of the virtual queue for Rise of the Resistance, she could remove me when she would always score a virtual queue time. But you choose who you want. You don't have to do it for everybody that's going. If you are just blindly pressing the button to, I'm going to do this, this, and this, if all 3 of us were going to the Magic Kingdom, yes, it would include all 3 of us. But if Rebecca, as she's planning the trip, and your guys' family that's in town, I'm going to the Magic Kingdom the same time you are, you just remove me, and then she goes through and plans everything for everybody else.
And I saw that at the conclusion of picking all that stuff, it then offered you the option to buy Genie Plus. So it seemed like it just was at the end of the Genie process. Is that normally that worked, or can you just buy Genie Plus straight off and not even worry about the planning aspect?
That I don't know the answer to, because this was the first day and we're going step by step. One of the things that I do want to try is going, tomorrow I'm going to book Disney Hollywood Studios and I will do the step-by-step planning. I'm not going to end up going into the park, but see how far I can get without having to purchase the Genie Plus.
And they've been telling us Genie Plus costs $15, but there's a secret little tack on that not all of us thought would be there.
Yes, there is tax. That was something very strange. Again, I'm going through it whatever this morning going, okay, I was like, why is it 31 and change? Which was very strange. And then I noticed I didn't go all the way through with the lightning or the individual lightning lane, but it didn't have the tax included. I didn't go all the way to the final purchase screen, but I think you said that we saw guests with that.
It definitely had tax as well. All right, so that was all your setup. You're able to basically plan out your whole day, at least in terms of what you want to do, not necessarily the route for your day, but the attractions that were important to you, purchase your Genie Plus, and do all that at home before you even got to the park, correct?
Correct. And one of the things I know that we saw different people comment about, and this could have been where you're heading with this, Doobie, is it's only this day. It isn't, you can't plan for tomorrow, the next day, the next day, the next day. And I know a lot of people are the planners. That's why 9 months out, Becky at Mouse Fan Travel would get calls about having to book the reservations. But this is each day it plans. It takes into consideration what it looks like that day during your visit to the park.
Are you able to plan for multiple parks though, since you're going to be park hopping?
it does give you an option of when you want to park hop. Let me see if I can.
Yeah, I did see that available, and then in some cases you were even able to purchase an individual lightning
Mhm.
lane for later in the day at another park. Um,
Yeah,
if you were jumping to another park for one of those attractions, that was an option available to you.
yeah. I looked at Remy's Ratatouille
Mm-hmm.
Adventure, and it let me book after 2 p.m. for the park hopping time. And I know in the selection of your day, you can say, "Oh, I'm going to leave the park at this time," and they kind of had um, you know, a little where it lets you adjust the times that you would be in the park, and then it takes into consideration on your My Day app, not the Tipboard app.
So another quick question: does it let you deal with experiences outside of the four, like water parks or Disney Springs? At this point, the answer is no to that, right?
Correct. Yeah, there is nothing. I mean, we may see something for the water parks at some point. I know that there had been a test at one point um, for different options for that, but what happens in the future, we don't know. I would love to see it. I know Rebecca, I'm sure, would love to see something coming to, especially Typhoon Lagoon when it opens.
So I just want to give a
We'll
quick
see.
look at, uh, you know, like I said, our live blog has tons and tons of pictures all throughout the day. But here's just a quick look at what that first part looks like as Jeremiah selected his attractions. This is where he selected the Tomorrowland Transit Authority. You can see at the bottom here, if you look closely, it has a maximum of 8 attractions. And so that process.
And that's just what it's using to kind of guide you through your day. That's what that this is the free aspect of the app. It's trying to get a sense of what items you enjoy. One of my favorite moments today was when I think Jeremiah shared a screen where he had been suggested to go to Country Bear Jamboree at
Hmm.
one point, and it gives you little reasons as to why you should go. And in this case, it said because you've shown an interest in live entertainment. Also, don't forget it has air conditioning.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
I thought it was really funny. Someone else tweeted, and I'm sorry, I don't recall the Twitter handle on it, but it cracked me up because they're for them the recommendation was the carousel, and it said the reason why was because it had been crafted by this toboggan company. And
Yeah.
it's one of those moments in time you're like, I'm not sure where the toboggan comes
Well,
into play with this recommendation, but okay.
yeah, the when you're looking at the tip board or anything, and it says why this, it gives the basics of short wait or air conditioning, or you showed interest in this, or I believe that was Tom Brecker that it was his
I
tweet
think
that
you're right.
said
I think you're
that
right.
the carousel was created by the toboggan company in 1912 or whatever year it was. So it definitely has some random facts that may not fall into an actual reason why, other than just something you may want to share.
Now,
Okay.
purely as an outsider, kind of watching from afar, the way I handled today was I just kind of kept periodically. I would look at the app and I would just kind of scroll and see what wait times were and when standby, what was available as far as the lightning lane and that type of thing. And for me, it seemed like it kind of took me back to what the paper days were like regarding fast pass and fast pass return times. It felt like a lot of the return times for the individual lightning lane were around the wait time of the standby. Sometimes they were further out for those more popular rides. They were further out, but most of them it seemed to be just around very similar to the standby queue. Is that what your experience was, Jeremiah, as you wandered the park?
Oh, I didn't do the individual lightning lane for Magic Kingdom was Mine Train and Space.
I'm
Uh,
sorry. I'm just meaning the Genie Plus.
okay. Yeah, it was very similar. It, it had very much the original Fast Pass Day feel, where it separated the crowd, kind of did a good job of pushing people to different locations. Yes, it suggested, hey, go ride the carousel, much like hey, here's a fast pass
Surprise!
extra. Yeah.
Surprise, fast pass.
So I'm curious about the logistics of that. So very specifically, you walk into the park, you scan whatever you get in the park these days,
Mhm.
and then what does it pop up and say, welcome in, Jeremiah, here's what you should do first? Or do you come up and say, okay, what do I do next? Or what is the actual process of using Genie?
It was very much just you open the Genie, and the tip board was great for. So I think the biggest thing is for Genie and Genie Plus. Genie is something that I won't use that often because it's just a planning tool. I mean, I definitely at one point want to spend a day just following Genie's traffic suggestions around and see how that works. For me today, Genie Plus was the key, and that was, hey, at 9:35, Winnie the Pooh has no wait, or that's the next lightning lane selection. So I did that. As I tapped in, I'd choose the next one. I'd choose
So
the next one.
is it showing you this is the next lightning lane available? Or are you saying I want to do Winnie the Pooh? Or are you looking at a tip board?
I'm looking at the tip board.
Okay.
Can you put? Yeah, I have a picture in my. I can't share.
I've shared it.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Can you not see it either?
No, that's funny. What I see right now is the three of us and our Twitter.
Oh, okay. I thought that's what you put up. Sorry.
Okay.
Is that
There we go.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, there's the tip board. Yeah.
So this is what it would look like for you, right? So you're in the park and you're able to scroll through your app and you can see the various attractions and their wait time. And then you can see, in this case, these are the individual lightning lanes. But like this one here, Millennium Falcon Smuggler's Run, it's part of the Genie Plus. And so if you had purchased Genie Plus, then you would hit that book experience.
Yeah. And one of the things that comes out of this, and this is something I saw with Max Pass, and even something that we used to see often when the Fast Pass in the park was more visible, when you could see the different times available. If you work the system, I rode 14 attractions before 4 o'clock today, from 9 to 4. Uh, on an average day, 14 attractions for the entire day is a massive number.
How many of those 14 were Genie Plus?
All but 2.
And any individual lightning lanes?
I didn't pay for any of the individual lightning lanes. The 2 that I didn't use the lightning lane for were Space Mountain, that only had the individual lightning lane available for purchase, and Big Thunder Mountain, which I could have booked a lightning lane for, but I decided to try to check the wait times, compare the Genie Plus wait time to the actual wait time, and they were pretty much dead on.
Okay.
No, you're fine. You can. I can't make this go away either. So, one of the things that I noticed in monitoring the Genie Plus app, the Genie Plus element of the app, was that much like the old days, Disney Studios seemed to be the one where those return times got farther and farther out. That seemed to be the park where those lightning lane spots were consumed more quickly.
Yeah.
So just as a point of use for those of you going to the parks, we saw some of, like, Slinky Dog stopped offering the lightning lane early afternoon, as I recall. Is that what you remember too, Juby? It seems to have been early in Florida, Florida. So and then Smuggler's Run was getting close to being kind of at what I figure was a cutoff point later in the day, in the late afternoon.
And Rise of the Resistance, which was an individual lightning lane additional purchase, had to stop offering them altogether, although they had a lot of downtime, so that could have been a factor in that as well.
And I was talking to different cast members throughout the day, and I was talking to somebody who was a cast member but he was off today, so he was playing more just kind of the ear to the grindstone to hear what people were thinking. And his response was people in Magic Kingdom were all very happy with it. People in Disney's Animal Kingdom were okay with it, but there wasn't a lot to offer at Disney's Animal Kingdom. Epcot, Disney's Hollywood Studios, you have your two biggest attractions are definitely the two things everybody wants to ride, and they don't have a lot of the other Genie Plus offers. So it does fill up, and when something like Rise of the Resistance goes down for a good part of the morning, you see the wait times start to tick up higher on the other attractions no matter what anyway.
And that's and I was very curious how the lack of Rise of the Resistance impacted those other attractions and their capacity figures. So it'll be interesting to see in the days ahead how that trends regarding those lightning lane accessibility. Yes, Juby?
Just an important thing to mention, and you've kind of mentioned it, is you do not have to be in the parks to see this tip board and see all this information. So if you're planning a trip, next month, you can start following along at home now throughout the day and seeing how the lines ebb and flow, seeing the Genie Plus return times, and start to kind of formulate your day instead of standing there on the day seeing all this stuff for the first time, trying to make sense of it and make financial decisions. You can really start to plan ahead. It's nice that they've made that pretty much fully available to people outside the parks, not just the people inside the park. That's actually
and you're going to see and you're going to see numerous videos coming up over the days and weeks ahead as more and more people are able to experience it and then get a feel for it. Because one of the more unusual to me elements of the Genie Plus, I'm going to put a picture over here for you to share, Doobie. Hang on, let me grab the one I want. Is about the wait times. Here's Slinky Dog Dash. They have this graph that tells you forecasted wait for today, but I had a hard time sometimes when I would compare one attraction to another, getting a feel for what that actually was trying to tell me, because it seemed like it wasn't necessarily indicative of a specific wait time as much as it was indicative of when that attraction is considered busy. And there's many attractions at Disney theme parks that, if you go up and it's a 45 minute wait, you're like, oh, sure, no problem. Whereas other attractions, you walk up and it's got a 40-minute wait and you'd be thinking, yes, that Genie Plus looks good for me on that. So not all 40-minute lines are created equal.
And it's interesting, like you kind of said, that you could be looking at People Mover and it may look the exact same way, but the max here is 3 hours, where the max on People Mover is a half hour. There's no y-axis.
Okay, yeah. That's the way to put that. Okay, yeah. So that's like a learning curve element to the process.
Yeah, it'd be nice if in doing this they said what that top line represented, instead of just, yes, it's the highest for this attraction, but the highest for this attraction is way lower than the highest for that attraction.
And another element of the Genie Plus that I want to get out there is that lightning lanes, all of the lightning lanes, it's a one-time only. Jeremiah was booking when he would ride his what you booked like Haunted Mansion. He wasn't then able to book Haunted Mansion again later in the day. It was one time through.
No, and one of the things with
if you try, you get a fun little message like this.
Yeah. Especially with my name kind of blocked out.
It's blocked out.
J me. Yeah, and one of the things that I did when I did the standby for Big Thunder Mountain, it was a 35-minute wait. So I'm like, sure, I'll wait the 35 minutes. But I could have easily, when I got off Big Thunder, selected that for the lightning lane for almost right away by the time I got off. And so you can do it that way.
Mm-hmm.
I am still a firm believer in keeping it the one-time attraction. What I was seeing was, I really can't say what I was seeing because there wasn't an overwhelming, Genie. We didn't see what Doobie really wanted, where everybody's just looking at their phone the entire day trying to figure out what they're doing. I would see
Jimmy's dream world.
a lot of people were walking up to the lightning lane with their tickets to tap in, and they would just tap, and then the customer would be like, do you guys have did you guys have a reservation? And you would see the clear, I don't know what I'm doing look on their face of reservation. The customer would go, okay, you guys need to come over to this side.
Yes, that's this picture here. I'm guessing you saw people walk up there. This isn't working, and then the cast member have to help them figure out exactly how to do it. And I'm sure this goes without saying. I'm going to say it anyway. Genie Plus individual lightning lane, you can do once. Standby, you can still do as many times as you want.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you can ride a Disney attraction as many times as as many times as you want through the standby. Yes, for sure. The element of the Genie Plus the element of Genie that I am particularly fond of is the ease of the dining experience. Finding out what is available and what isn't available. Did you have an opportunity to use that at all, Jeremiah?
Sadly, I didn't. I ate breakfast this morning at the Friar's Nook, and I was in the area, just walked right into the pre-ordered or mobile ordered, got it, and was done. And throughout the day, I was kind of looking to eat again, but I definitely turned today more into let's see how many attractions I can get in one shot. And
well, if Doobie shares my screen, a couple of weeks ago I was at Epcot, and it was getting to be evening time, and my pals and we were hungry, and we wanted to find somewhere to eat, and we'd select a restaurant and then see if anything was available. Then we'd select, and that we each kind of picked a restaurant to see if we could find a window that was available to eat at. It was a lot of clicks and a lot of back and forth to find somewhere to eat. But now, with the way the app is with this clipboard, you can not only scroll through experiences like we were showing earlier, but you can also scroll through dining. So if you were at Disney Studios, for example, right, you could see here, 50's Primetime Cafe, walk-up list was 60 minutes. So you could have hit join the list, and then you knew you would be getting seated around 60 minutes from the point of entry there. Or if you were still in a quick service mood, right, you would have seen that the window for mobile ordering was available at ABC Commissary, and when the mobile order window was available at Backlot Express. Some of the locations obviously were showing, completely full. Some were showing dining reservations were available, but they didn't have a walk-up list. There's a variety to it. But the nice thing was it wasn't a lot of clicks back and forth in order to be able to see. It was just a nice, simple scroll through the various dining options to be able to make your choice.
Yeah, it was definitely, that was one of the things that was called out early when I got to experience the test for it, was the ease. And just like you were saying, I've experienced it so many times where you go back and just try to find some place to eat, some place for mobile order. And this new system does work so well. And it was working for the attractions the same way. Like I would just...
Well, can you, real quick, since we're still on dining, this was a picture you tweeted earlier, I believe, showing some overlap in an attraction plan and a dining plan?
Because I had made my mobile order for the Friar's Nook, it shows that there's some underneath the Pirates of the Caribbean. It says there may be some overlapping, and that's just, it takes into consideration what you would be eating. It doesn't stop you from booking a Pirates of the Caribbean lightning lane. I didn't try because I didn't have any full sit-down restaurants to see how that would work. But I'm guessing there may be a little bit more of a pushback if you have Be Our Guest at 3 o'clock and you're trying to get a lightning lane at 2:55 or something.
Yeah. And once again, this dining aspect that we're talking about, and this that's a free. That's part of the free Genie element of the app. The portion that you pay for is the of booking to avoid the standby wait. All the information, that's free. The finding out what the wait times are on attractions in your app right there, that's still free, just like it was before. But now that dining availability is much more accessible. And like I say, that's not a paid add-on to the app.
And if you're looking at the tip board without Genie Plus and it shows a 30-minute wait at Big Thunder and your window for lunch, starts in 5 minutes, I'm pretty sure, correct me if I'm wrong, Jeremiah, it's going to show a conflict there. Again, that's completely separate from the Genie Plus thing. That's now included with the price of admission to Walt Disney World.
Dewey, can you put up Gio's comment?
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Gio was noticing Everest wasn't really needing for a chunk of the day. And that's one of the things, Everest is a true people eater. Like, yes, it's a coaster, but it can move people through. And if you see something over a half-hour wait for Everest, it's a busy day. So it wasn't needed for the individual lightning lane. I think it was $7 today. I don't remember off the top of my head what the price for that one was. And that's something, again, you don't have to pay for the individual lightning lane. You can use the standby. And I know that every time I'd look at Animal Kingdom, the wait time was 20 minutes for Expedition Everest. So the individual lightning lane, I think, is definitely geared more towards the people that want to, snap. Okay, we're done with the big attractions. Now we can do whatever we like. And that's something we were seeing early, where Rise of the Resistance was booking their first hours right away. Same with Mine Train. Like, I would see on the tip board, it was saying there wasn't anything available until later in the day, even though I would go in and it would show in the hour coming up, there'd be 2 spots available to purchase.
Doobie, can you pull up that tweet that had the image of the all the ILLs and their price, so we can just talk about that reality? I know in looking at Remy was available for virtual queue, and then also available for Genie for the individual lightning lane. It was not available as just a standby option, because the virtual queue. And so if you wanted to either, if you had tried and you didn't get a virtual queue, then you could have purchased to be able to ride it in a much shorter, wait time. Or if you are like Tony and you don't want to take a chance that you're going to get a return time 4 hours later, when you do the virtual queue, that would be another aspect of paying for Remy. See, right now, for me, it seems like Remy is a good fit. I'm not a fan of this notion, but it's a good fit for the individual lightning lane, because it's a new ride. There's a higher demand, and it's inconveniently located, to be frank. So the idea that I could just pay $9, know when I'm going to ride it, and move on with my day, per person kind of thing, is, I can understand the appeal of that, as since it's out there.
Yeah, and I definitely saw that a lot of, as that picture showed earlier of the Seven Dwarfs Mine Train, there were a lot of guests around that area asking about that, because it was almost always about an hour wait. And I can say with confidence, going back to when it was the Fast Pass Plus days, that the queue was approximately about an hour, and that would have been the full queue. I think Rebecca is definitely frozen. Either that or her hand needs some serious help, Doobie.
Am I frozen?
No, you're not.
There's that frightening. I hate you, Doobie.
So I created this collage that shows, this was at about, I forgot the time now, about 2:15 Pacific, 2:15 Eastern time, and what the individual lightning lanes looked like for all 8 of them. So it shows their standby time, and then when the lightning lane return time was, how much it cost to purchase, and in the case of Remy's Ratatouille Adventure, the status of the virtual queue as well. And since there's 8 attractions, of course, he needs a center square, so we managed to get the Genie himself to pose for this, and we're pretty proud of this little collage we put together.
And Disney has told us that the pricing pretty much for this individual lightning lane will be between 7 and 15.
Yes.
And it can fluctuate day to day, but it won't fluctuate within the day. So you're not going to look at some sort of, it's inexpensive at the beginning of the day, and then all of a sudden in the afternoon at the beginning of the day, what you see established as the price is going to be the price for it throughout the course of that day.
I will, and I know the two of you have definitely experienced this back in the day at Disneyland, where you'd be standing in the queue and you'd hear somebody talking about something, and you'd bite your tongue, and then you just had to give in. I was in line, or was in the queue for Monsters Inc. Laugh Floor, and there were two girls live streaming behind me, and I was focusing, and then they kept going. Okay, so we've seen the price change for Seven Dwarfs Mine Train in between this and this throughout the day, and I turned around and I'm just like, I apologize. I have to let you know it's been the same price since this morning, and they're like, no, it hasn't. I'm like, she's like, but we saw it was $11. I'm like, no, that was another attraction that was $11. The mine train and Space Mountain had stayed the same throughout the day, and they kind of gave me that look like, no, it didn't, and it was like, okay, I tried.
They were live streaming during this?
Yes.
Did you at least give a smash that like to help them
No,
out?
stop.
I didn't. It was very. It was also because it was in the inner queue for Monsters Inc. Laugh Floor that I was. I think the main reason I did it was because I was trying to hear the spiels and everything, and they were right behind me talking the entire time. I'm like, I just had to do it.
So Gio says from what he was seeing, it looked like individual lightning lane for Seven Dwarfs Mine Train didn't really have an impact on the standby line. There weren't very many takers. Is that what you experienced?
What I saw, and every time I'd walk by, and we'll get into this in a little bit, but I walked by it a few times because I was kind of ping-ponging, going the exact opposite of what the Genie was suggesting by staying in one area and doing everything. I would see the individual lightning lane for Mine Train usually outside coming down the Fast Pass, or the old Fast Pass queue, and now the lightning lane queue. So it was constant. I didn't see what if they'd shut off any of the times or if they'd sold out, but I'm sure that by 5 o'clock they didn't have a lot left for later in the afternoon.
Maybe on your next visit to a park, you can just stand there and count, and we can multiply by the amount, and we can just see exactly how much Disney's making on an attraction. That would be fun.
Can I just take an average of like 10 minutes?
Yeah, come on.
The entire
ebb and flow.
I'm just eager over the next few weeks to follow kind of when we see the lightning lane stop offering times.
Because the only one we've seen so far, I believe, is Rise, right? And it had a lot of downtime today.
Well, Slinky Dog early in the afternoon, many hours before park close, was no longer offering lightning lane. So,
I'm thinking
but then on the flip side, there was an interesting thing that Doobie and I saw happen today with Genie Plus that I didn't expect, and that was Frozen was temporarily closed, and yet you could still purchase an individual lightning lane because that's one of the attractions at Epcot where the individual lightning lane is available. So the attraction is closed, right? It's not operating, but they're allowing sales. And then sure enough, the window that was available for those individual lightning lane, the attraction was back in operational. So,
crazy.
I hadn't been following it long enough to know if it had been like how quickly they had stopped selling them before, or if they stopped, what the pause was, if there was a pause. But it was something I didn't expect to see, where an attraction was closed and yet I could still purchase a lightning lane window. So I'm interested to see kind of, how that process continues to, be tweaked over the weeks.
So right now, Frozen Ever After at Epcot has a 45-minute wait, but you can purchase the individual lightning lane for $8.35. So if I were there, I could purchase and walk right in with very little to no wait.
So they've really got this down to a well-developed science to where they were able to sell these, fast.
Remy is not available at all, though.
Right. No,
okay.
Remy was out.
Remy individual lightning lane is no longer available.
Today.
Same with Test Track is currently closed.
Mm-hmm.
And Remy is also on virtual queue. So right now you just can't ride Remy. You are
Yeah, if you didn't have a virtual, right? If you didn't have a virtual, you aren't.
And right now, some
And it's
places
interesting.
Tony
It's
is
interesting
complaining.
to me that while you are able to book Lion King with the Genie Plus, Festival of the Lion King at Animal Kingdom, and the sing along at
Studios.
they haven't yet added fireworks. So
Right.
you don't have a harmonious booking. You don't have an enchantment booking currently.
That was one of the questions that we also asked, and the response from everybody behind the Genie program was they don't know what's happening as far as fireworks. They don't know if they're going to open up the West Lawn again for viewing, or if Harmonious will have a specific area. But one of the interesting things that I'm clicking through the parks, and I just went to Disney's Hollywood Studios that has no lightning lane available for individual or regular. Alien Swirling Saucers has a 10-minute wait. Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway, 30 minutes. Millennium Falcon, 30 minutes. Rock and Roller Coaster, 30 minutes. Slinky Dog, 45 minutes. Star Tours, 5 minutes. Rise of the Resistance, 135 minutes.
But no lightning lanes whatsoever available?
No, not for any of the attractions. Twilight Zone's 13 and Toy Story 15.
And we're about half an hour till close at that park, correct?
Well, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Back on Genie Plus then. So obviously the lightning lane, that's the huge deal. But there are some other stuff that you can experience too, like the audio tours. We'll get to that.
Yeah.
Can you talk a little bit about the audio tour? Did you get to experience any of those?
I did, and do you want to hear one right now? I mean, not the whole thing. I don't want to get...
Yeah. If you can play a little bit, that's a good idea. Great idea.
Because one of the things that I found, and I didn't tweet this out, but as I was leaving the Magic Kingdom, I was like, what's going to stop people from screen recording any of the audio tales? You cannot. It will not let you screen record anything.
Disney on top of things.
Yeah, I was very impressed with that.
That's excellent. I'm glad that it is that way. So when these audio files, are they are they professional talent type recordings? Yes. or is this the creators talking to us?
No, this is definitely voiceover. I did the People Mover one earlier, and it is a voice actor. So let me give you a few options. There's Today, Tomorrow, 1971 at Magic Kingdom. There is the People Mover. We have About the Mosaics at Cinderella Castle. Enchanted Design.
Let's hear some of the People Mover. Just a little bit.
Yeah, I will actually even put this up because there is visual, or a little bit of visual. And they have closed captioning on there also that you can select, which I really was impressed by.
Hello, fellow traveler, looking to get around Tomorrowland. Today, hop on the People Mover in Tomorrowland at Magic Kingdom Park today. The Tomorrowland Transit Authority serves outside of Tomorrowland.
And about how long does each one of those run?
It's about a minute or so.
Okay.
Yeah.
And it gives you like just an introductory history lesson, or
the People Mover one actually talks about the how the People Mover, if not for the People Mover, there wouldn't have been that People Mover in the Houston airport.
Did you write these, Jeremiah?
I did, actually. I'm very proud of that.
And then sorry.
These are only available for the guests that purchase Genie Plus.
Okay.
So
do you know, is that only going to be listable today? Tomorrow it's gone?
Correct. And that's something I'm going to go through and listen to each of them today, because I only got to capture a handful. But you can, and I'll show this. So there we go. Too bright. Anyway,
you are too right, Jeremiah.
they had the different ones, and I tweeted out the park maps of them.
Okay. Yeah.
There you go.
Oh,
Now
cool.
you can see it. And each of the parks has different ones. So the one I listened to
Oh, that's
earlier was
fun.
the Monument Valley Big Thunder, where they talk about the design of the mountain range for Big Thunder.
Serious
Yeah.
question. Is there any place in playing those audio tours where it recommends you use headphones?
No. And that's one of the things I completely agree, and I brought my headphones for that reason. But the closed captioning is on there, and
That's nice.
that was the thing that when I looked at it, I was like, good on you. You guys thought about this, how nobody around you wants to hear whatever you're listening to, whether it be the audio tales or you watching some bad YouTube video.
So those are the audio tales.
Audio
And then
tales.
the other thing, of course, are the incredible lids. And there are so many of these. And I think
So many.
this is what people have the most fun with on social media. And it, Genie Plus, it should be fun. So we're gonna share. Again, will Genie himself introduce these. So Genie, thank you very much for being a part of our show. What other ones do we have here? Genie,
So this was just at the TTC. You have different lenses that you can choose. Of course, there's God, you're gonna haunt me for the rest of it. That's why I did not choose the Ursula one on purpose.
Aww.
Yeah, so under the dome,
shoulder.
Mickey Mouse.
I like the way you got a haircut for this occasion. You knew
I
this
know.
was coming.
I planned it that way. I wanted to be as nice as possible. And then I was having way too much fun with my 3 hours of sleep doing this.
Can I just say, I see Cardfreck on our chat says more like Genie minus womp womp. I have to say it was fun today to follow Twitter, because in my Twitter feed I'd have a comment that was very negative about Genie Plus, and then immediately underneath it I would have somebody who was like, dude, I just spent then it wasn't even Genie Plus in their case. They actually were doing like an ILL, and they were like, bypassed blank line for this money. Yay! Sign me up again. So it was just a fascinating like dichotomy of opinions throughout the day, because it is a rather polarizing option. And for me, I'm still in the time will tell camp. I'm still waiting to kind of totally, but I love Genie. Genie itself for me so far, based upon watching and everything today, for me, Genie, huge win.
Yeah,
I'm
I may
very
just
excited about Genie.
Jeremiah to go back and just do the Genie experience and take
Yeah.
Genie's advice and come back and do one of these again. So Jeremiah, so they have a time machine as well for Genie Plus people, right?
Yes. This was one of those ones that I love doing.
So this was taken today.
Hang on, I got to respond to Cardfrex. The beta test was actually on the West Coast, and that was Max Pass.
Yeah.
So this is kind of just the
like
evolution.
The next phase.
So yeah, this was today.
Isn't that wild what they're able to do? They're able to use these fun lenses to make it look like you're there when they were building the thing.
So you can do a selfie, or in most cases, it's selfie only. In this case, you can turn and point it towards the camera, and it has a little bar. The first one is 1970 when the castle's in construction. This is 1971. And then the next one, which I'm sure
I would just like to point out, as someone born in 1971, there were color photos back then.
Yes.
Dude, you're not the only one to point that out. People are really sensitive about that.
Really?
I've seen a few people tweet like, wow, dude, what did you think was going on in 1971?
But yeah, the 1996 castle, we were having lots of fun with it. And yes, it is an augmented reality type lens. So, you can see there's things that were cut off. I took a picture and I sent it to our group chat. I don't think I tweeted of the absolute classic
castle float.
Yeah, the castle float going past, and you can see the bottom of the princess's
I think
legs.
it's Tiana. I think it's Tiana's skirt is kind of
Yeah.
there beneath the cat. It's as if the castle just landed right there. But
Move your leg.
because it is simply a flat filter image that's being placed into the photo. It's not savvy enough. Like if you were standing on that stage, it's not savvy enough to put the castle, behind you there.
But if you're doing a selfie,
But
it does
selfie, it
put it
does.
behind. Yeah.
Selfie.
This one is remarkably good because naturally this castle was made to fit over the real castle,
Mm-hmm.
and it looks so good. And I gotta say, it makes me miss 1996.
But it's fun. It's really fun to be able to take this picture. Like if we were there, we would be able to take this picture now and be fun.
And then present day, which is they kind of throw the fireworks, which is
nice.
so difficult because the fireworks are, as soon as you click on the 2021, the fireworks launch, and if you press the button too early, all you get's you can see them launching up, or if it's too late, you can just barely see the rain down. I probably took this picture 5 times to get those fireworks even somewhere in there.
The sacrifices you make, Jeremiah.
Such a rough life.
Hey, at least I'm not sunburnt. I was very proud of my fact that I didn't get sunburnt today.
Another moment in time that was of joy to me as someone who grew up. Well, no, shouldn't say that. As someone who lived a long time within the shadow of Walt Disney World, I very infrequently would experience Peter Pan's flights because it was often a fast pass that would go very quickly. And so it would have a very long wait time or unavailable fast passes when I lived there. So typically that was an attraction I'd experience late at night if I did. But then today I saw that if I had purchased Genie Plus, like midday, I could still have accessed the attraction with the Genie Plus bypass, So just it's a different experience. I'm interested to see how it goes. Things like when we had the paper fast pass days, I remember, that rope drop run, and that kind of thing seems to be a bygone. And I didn't notice like the pricing it seems to have cut down on the demand enough to where you didn't have like Soarin' just all of a sudden become, you got to come back at a gazillion hours from now. It seems to have done a nice job with that today. I mean, this is just the first day. Things will change. Systems will be tweaked. I'm just talking about looking at the first day experience. These were things that were of a surprise to me.
Yeah,
I want to say real quick, Jeremiah, from the first day experience as a tech guy with a little bit of an idea of what goes on behind the scenes for something like this, I am really impressed and very pleasantly surprised at how smoothly things seem to go today. I was scouring Twitter just waiting for the system shutdown, and it didn't come. There were issues, don't get me wrong. I saw plenty of people were having trouble like buying Genie Plus early in the day, but the system by and large worked, and that's pretty impressive.
No, I didn't have a single problem. The only problems that I had were, the classic human error. I was trying to do things that weren't available yet because the park hadn't opened. But I was also going off of what I learned 2 weeks ago versus what the actual system is doing today. So I was trying to price out individual lightning lanes. I was trying to see these type of things, but unless you're a park or a resort guest, you can't purchase it until park opens. So, but that was something that 2 weeks ago they said, oh no, it's 7:00. Everybody can do that, but they finally got it figured out. So it is a special benefit to be a resort guest to purchase the individual lightning lane at 7:00 in the morning. We were seeing coming in a little before rope drop, the attractions were open for early entry and you could see the wait times, but the lightning lanes wouldn't be available until 9:00. And then at 9:00 or 9:20 or whatever time I did the mini adventures of Winnie the Pooh, I did Winnie the Pooh. As soon as I tapped in, I booked for Mermaid. I went and did Mermaid, and then I did Barnstormer. And as I'm walking up Barnstormer after I tap in, I booked Dumbo. walked right onto Dumbo, walked right onto the Speedway. Again, if you use the system properly and if you don't care about how you are approaching the park, if you want to do your max amount of attractions, again, I did 14 attractions. 2 of them weren't Genie Plus, but I was booking everything as I was going. If I had stayed just a little while longer, I could have done the Haunted Mansion. Jungle Cruise was pushing for later in the evening. And Haunted Mansion, Jungle Cruise, and Pirates, I think, were the 3 main ones that I didn't hit.
You said if you
And
do
you left
things
it 4.
properly, did you? Yes. Did you bump the car ahead of you on the Speedway?
I did not.
Good.
I definitely got bumped in the rear as we were parking. Hold on, I enjoy Rebecca just doing that giggle that we usually do.
One of the things, Jeremiah, that you've mentioned regarding this, there's a double tap now, right?
A lot of the attractions, I mean, the double tap was always there. The first one on many attractions was to make sure you have it, and the second one is to verify, aka clean off your information off the system. So now it is first is back to I'm doing this like I was using my phone the entire time. The Disney Mobile Magic was working perfect for me. So you'd walk up, first one verifies, second one says, okay, you're doing it, you cleared it off, and then you can book your next one. There were some attractions that were only using the first tap in, like Barnstormer, I think was one of the ones. But something like Pirates of the Caribbean, you would tap in at the entrance, and then at the merge point is where you would tap again. And as soon as you hit that second tap, you could go in and book your next one.
Couple of tidbits asides. There is a brochure for Genie available that can help you, kind of walk you through it a little bit if it's not as intuitive as you'd like it to be. They're also, at the guest experience team, are point of sales. I presume, Jeremiah, if you are the 1% of people that do not have a smartphone, you can just buy it with a credit card or whatever and get it attached to your Magic Band?
I don't know. There is no way to do things unless you have some type of smartphone or smart device. This was, I would say, more for the individual Lightning Lane. The guests could walk up and purchase it. Maybe booking the Genie Plus on it without putting your credit card in the system itself.
True. Good point. I wonder if there is a workaround. I'd appreciate, I know you have you are a Disney World correspondent. Is there somehow, some way, a way to do Genie Plus?
For my friends with the flip phone. I have some friends with flip phone. Yeah, I'd like to know that. I can let them
even
know.
if it means, going
Didn't think about that.
Finding a GET member to do your next attraction each time. Is there a way to do it?
Wouldn't it be interesting if they gave you like an itinerary? Here.
That would be good. And of course, you did not get to try out the new accessibility services.
Correct.
No.
Okay, so
the disability services, disability access system, disability access service.
I think it's system, but
it now has the DOS system for guests with disabilities. Instead of having to go to the guest experience team members and saying, okay, well, I want to book the mini adventures of Winnie the Pooh, and they would go, okay, well, we have this time, and then they'd scan your Magic Band. Now it can all be done on your smartphone.
Yeah, and we didn't have anyone accessing that, so we'll have to be offering you information about that at a later date as we get in touch with people who we know were using that system. Have we shown a picture yet? I think it was 11 hours ago that he shared a tweet of how you can search by hour for your individual Lightning Lane.
Sure. Well, I'll pull that up, Rebecca. I know you
have my screen is right there.
Oh, you have it already. Sorry. Okay. Way ahead of me.
Sorry. So I thought that this was kind of an interesting difference in how you would do it. So if you wanted to ride Mine Train in the 10 o'clock hour with this individual Lightning Lane, you could then pick a specific time within the hour.
Yeah, and this system is more of how Max Pass was at Disneyland, where you could select the hour. You know, I didn't go too deep into looking again at an attraction going, well, I want to do this a little bit later. There were definitely times where I'd book whatever the next time available was for maybe a half hour later. And then I would take the time walking over there or sit down and have a snack and then head over and do that. But it was very convenient. If the individual lightning lane is something that you want to take advantage of, you have the ability to search and you can, hey, I'm going to go at noon. I just got a question from one of my friends. Can you purchase individual lightning lane without doing the Genie Plus? Yes, you can purchase whatever you want. Well, you can purchase 2 individual lightning lanes, be it Seven Dwarfs Mine Train and Space Mountain, or if you're park hopping, Seven Dwarfs Mine Train and something in the other park after 2 o'clock. You are free to purchase those once each, and then you're done for the day.
And the other question I had was, I did not use Genie Plus, so for me, looking at the app, it would tell me, hey, the line is this long, and you can purchase the, return for this experience at this time. But if I had Genie Plus, would I have had more variety in options, or is it still like, let's say that I didn't want to ride Haunted Mansion the 30 minutes later the lightning lane return time was, do I have to just keep refreshing until I see a time frame I want to return to, or is it something where I could have clicked on and then scrolled through and picked one a little further out?
That one is, again, one of those unfortunate things that I didn't try because I was doing the quick hits on everything. That is, let me see.
But you can only hold one lightning lane at a time, so it would seem weird to want to book one way out.
And
but if I'm having lunch, right?
True. If you know you're going to have lunch and then you'd like to be able to ride as soon as you got out, can you book it for 2 hours down the road? That's a good question. That's a very good question.
No. Sorry, Jeremiah. I didn't think of it while you were there. I would have bugged you to give it a try.
No, and that I was enjoying all of the questions because.
Yes, you can, David, to answer your question. Sorry.
Yes.
Yeah, they're completely separate. So you can have your individual lightning lane, both of them sitting out there, and still play with your Genie Plus lightning lanes.
And with the Genie Plus return time, if the return time is a longer way away, it's a more popular attraction. They do allow for another
2 hours.
That if it's a 2-hour window, like let's say Slinky Dog, wildly popular, your return time is 2 hours away, you're not locked out of getting any others. They do allow for that reality and let you have another return.
Oh,
sorry.
I'm looking at Epcot
saying
right
that
now.
one and it's individual, but sorry.
Journey into Imagination with Figment has a Genie Plus lightning lane at 9 p.m. and I hit book experience. So yeah, it just gives, this also 9 to 10 because the park closes at 10.
Yeah.
So it just gives that final time.
This isn't the best time to check. I have a question for you, Jeremiah.
Yeah.
Did you get a notification that it was time to go to your lightning lane?
Sadly, no push notifications.
Oh, okay, no
yet.
push.
That was something that was killing me because with about 3 hours of sleep, trying to remember what I just booked and at what time got a little tedious.
Now, when you try this in the future, I'll be interested to know if that would appear if you had searched in the My Plans. I wonder if it would pop up there what you had, what you're holding.
No, it definitely did. I looked at that when I was leaving. I know My Plans was a big question. I'm sure that Disney has heard the outcry for something like that. You search My Plans and it brings everything up, and it did bring up because I'd booked a Haunted Mansion lightning lane for just before I left, and it was still there.
And for those of you who have used the My Disney experience in the past, My Plans, that's right. That's where you could kind of scroll through and see all the events of your trip that you had booked. And that's now a little bit harder to find. I have been finding it by simply searching My Plans, putting that in the search bar, and it'll pop up then, because that tab is not as front page accessible as it had been within the app. I suspect, like Jeremiah says, that may be something we see tweaked. But for now, put my plans in the search, and that familiar kind of list of events will once again be available to you. Yeah, Juby.
I just want to make sure we hit the questions real quick. Gio's asking about if a park is closed. I don't think we know for sure. There's no assumption that you can hop if it's full, the rare times it happens. But they have made clear that if you can't do your lightning lane, you'll be compensated. You'll get your money back at the very least. I mean, at the very worst, you'll get your money back if they can't give some other kind of experience. Connor would like to see the cavalcades in there, and then, or at least a notification. The cavalcades are in the app now, aren't they?
They're in. I think they are. I'll double check right now, but my memory is that I saw cavalcades when we were there during our recent trip.
Yeah, I thought they added those more recently. And then, David's asking, when they propose a return time for Genie Lightning Lane, do they know if you have a dining experience and not conflict, or is that just up for you to deal with?
If it's something that you have, like if you booked Be Our Guest, we showed it earlier where I had Pirates of the Caribbean, then I did a mobile order for Friar's Nook, and it had the warning, overlapping. As far as like a full sit-down restaurant and will it let you book something else, that was something you used to be able to do in Genie or in FastPass Plus. You could still do those, but there was times where it would say, wait, you have something else. There is one of the things that I love, and this is just holding in here for some reason, and I couldn't get a screenshot of it today because it was too big for the screen. So here is Disney's Hollywood Studios, and then they have, when I was doing Magic Kingdom, it had times for different, like, oh, you could get a Fast Pass Plus, or you could get a Lightning Lane for this time or this time. That's a DAS return time for Tower of Terror that just seems to be locked on there. You could scroll through Magic Kingdom and see different times posted.
And then I was able to find Cavalcade in the app with times listed. So that is a pattern there. So, but they don't have any kind of push notifications for those things. And I don't know. And we'll have to play around with it more to see if that's something. Was that something that Genie asked you when you began your day if you wanted to see a cavalcade?
There's the different character interactions, that type of thing. They have parades. It's all in there.
So it might have included one in his suggested activities, Connor, if that was something that he had told Genie he wanted to take advantage of.
So, like we said, we have a video that Jeremiah created as he set up his day. So you can see all of those different types of things you can give preference for. That's on our YouTube channel, just posted this morning. So I put that together, but I didn't watch it that carefully. Could you say things like, I like secluded places for my girlfriend and I, or anything like that?
No, there was no, I want my Mickey bar where nobody else will try to take a bite of it.
Or I like a Mickey bar, but I'm a slow eater. Is there a shady place I can go get it? I feel like maybe Genie 2.0 will have questions like that.
Yes, I think that will take into consideration. Maybe it'll match with the Magic Band, and there'll be like an electric pulse to if somebody's coming near you.
I feel like since they know what people's preferences are, if two people are within 10 feet of each other with similar preferences.
Oh, now there you go. The next thing, that's what it'll do now. A party of one and
Single
a party
rider.
of one similar itineraries.
Right.
And they'll make sure, oh, hey, you've got
Genie,
a similar
put us
itinerary
together.
to this person over here. Maybe you guys should share a soda. Get a soda with 2 straws over at Casey Corner.
Maybe you guys should do one of those spaghetti lenses together.
With the purchase, was the purchase experience similar to mobile order?
Yes, very similar. You just select, go through, hit click, click, click. Becky, come on out. I will give you a full tour, and show you how to
Who is
sell
Becky?
to everybody.
Becky, who's Becky? Can you tell us anything about Becky, Jeremiah?
Becky with Mouse Fan Travel, the #1 place to go if you want to travel anywhere, be it
Especially
Disney,
Disney in our case.
Universal. Yeah. Becky is one of our good friends. She is one of the generous sponsors to Laughing Place. We don't just plug her because she's giving us money, but we plug her because she's a fun person and helps us.
That too.
This is why we don't let you do our promos, Jeremiah.
Right?
Remember that time when I woke up like 3 minutes before we started this live stream?
Can you
What
use a
else?
gift card?
Hold the curtain behind.
You can add a gift card to your MDE, can't you?
Yes.
That's why I was asking about
Yeah.
Yeah, that was one of those things that I took note. I sadly didn't get to catch a screenshot of it, but yeah, you have anything. I want to say it's the same with the Disney Chase Visa gift card or redemption card. I think that fell in there.
Hey,
Did they
GB,
take Bitcoin yet?
can you share my screen? I think Becky came too late to see this beautiful collage. Check it out, Becky.
Yeah, is this really what you want to hang out with, Becky?
There you go. The joys of Disney Photopass lenses. Okay. I wanted to share.
I can't wait to see Becky doing these too.
Yeah.
Especially the
It'll be fun.
Ursula.
It'll be fun. Too much fun, those Photopass lenses. I'm sorry.
That's Becky
and
of
that's part
Mouse
of the Genie Plus purchase. Sorry, go ahead.
That's Becky of Mouse Fan Travel. That's our travel partner who we can't recommend highly enough. One of the biggest, definitely the best.
Wow. Are you doing any? Oh, you've still got some time left on your Genie Plus purchase. Oh, it comes with fun little music while you do it too.
Show it. Get you in the mood, in the posing mood.
Oh, that's so cute.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, trust me.
Buddy, do.
Let me here. Sorry, it's.
I like the music.
Yeah, and they have a fun one that is. You aim the lens at the sky.
Will it know it's the ceiling as opposed to a sky?
No, and I also can't figure out how to do this for the life of me. I was trying.
Next time you do Genie Plus.
Oh, that sounds like Remy. Oh, this is gonna be something Remy.
No.
What is it?
I'm having spaghetti on my own.
You're having spaghetti.
All by yourself. We need a video of you in the park just doing all these, and then we'll put the shots in. I'll edit together if you do the raw footage.
Hang on, Remy, you can only do it at Epcot now. This morning, it let me do it. I'm trying to.
So some of these are location sensitive. That's interesting. That'll be fun. Look at him posing. Everybody, this is how you pose for your selfie. Whoa!
I have wings.
Oh, you have wings and like dark pixie dust stuff.
You're Maleficent.
Yeah.
You're a fairy. That's frightening.
A dark fairy.
Yeah, so these lenses can be done at home too.
Oh no!
Oh wait, here it is.
I know we're waiting for Ursula.
We have a request there, Jeremiah.
Oh, there we go. You asked for it. Oh, I like it.
You need to do these with a plain shirt on. I like the t-shirt add-on, but
I like how he's wearing his wacky soapbox derby shirt.
Yes.
Very good theming there. Very good.
Oh, here's. Wow, now it's telling me to find a face.
Find a face.
People will spend $15 just for these pictures.
Oh, trust me, I am doing these as much as I possibly can.
I hope they do. If they do day and date ones, that'll be craziness. Like on Mickey's birthday, if they have unique ones because it's Mickey's birthday, or like when it's Emperor's New Groove Day, or May the 4th, or
on June 26th, if they don't have Toilet Paper Castle, I'm going to be so disappointed.
People were very I saw tweets of people who were disappointed that Toilet Paper Castle wasn't among the ones available in that historical timeline of castle imagery.
Bring it back for 626, please.
No,
No.
don't bring it back. Just AR.
No, there. And then I'm excited. What are they going to have for May the 4th?
Uh-huh.
Oh man, so much. The
They
lenses
can
are
really
the
have
thing.
some fun with it.
The
And
lenses
then
are the
when
thing.
like a hurricane comes, they'll show you how the missile silo is underneath, and they can just remove the towers. Is that too far?
They'll have a picture. You'll be able to take a picture where like they're removing the swan from the top of the hotel
With a helicopter.
with a helicopter.
So much fun. None of these, by the way, are themed to outside the 4 parks. There's basically nothing for Genie Plus outside the 4 parks right now, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
Yet.
Within the berm fun.
So, Rebecca, I know you have a friend who went to a different park today. Did you glean anything else we should mention?
No. This pretty well covers it. I mean, I'll be interested to see kind of how Genie Plus bears out as far as all 4 parks. I can see, based on Jeremiah's experience today, I can see where it would be very appealing if you're going to Magic Kingdom. Looking at the numbers and everything that I saw happening at studios, I can envision it being, a value, a perceived value when you're at, studios. I'm not as sure kind of how the feel's going to be with Animal Kingdom, because I can see where people would opt out of it and just pay for, if they had a kind of a budget for that bypassed queue, you would just do the ILL. You might not, there's not as much there, and it doesn't seem to be as much to compel you to do it there. So.
And you West Coasters, this is coming to Disneyland. It's been announced, no date yet, but it's been announced. They've even given the list of Genie Plus and individual Lightning Lane attractions. So it is coming. Get excited. This is the wave of the future until they change it again.
Right.
Hey, considering Fast Pass lasted in its basic form at Disneyland for 16, 17 years before Max Pass, and then
But at Disney World, we need people. People want to plan their trip 90 days in advance and guarantee they're going to ride these attractions when they get there.
Talk to Becky about that then.
And then, boom! No, they can do it still all at 7 a.m.
It is such a change in mindset. It's a bizarre idea that we're getting. I mean, I was talking to Anita today about it. My friend in Ohio was telling her how when you and I were first vacationing at Walt Disney World from California in the late 90s, early 2000s, our vacations tended to be anchored around eating, like getting a restaurant reservation. But you know what I mean? It was like we that's what your anchor was I could get into Brown Derby at this time.
Right.
I could get into Crystal Palace at this time. That was kind of what our anchors were. But then when this book 3 Fast Pass scenario developed,
that became
it really shifted your mindset. And so now, I feel like I'm going to be much more able to, today I was looking at Epcot and there was a walk-up available under 30-minute wait walk-up at Les Celliers today.
So
which blew my mind.
Here's a secret. Le Cellier isn't really that much of a hot ticket anymore. Yeah,
I haven't tried.
No, it's. I had a friend who actually, when everything started reopening, he was located there, and he was telling me how it's no longer the place to eat.
Wow.
Yeah, so Le Cellier is definitely a good place. But
when we first moved to Florida, we kept trying to book it because we had never been able to get to it during our vacations. We kept trying to book, weren't able to get in. The hurricane came through, the first of the 3 that came through about a month after we moved there. And the day after the hurricane, when we went to Epcot, we could walk in. We were like, it only took a hurricane for us to be able to finally eat at Les Celliers. So,
Well, thank you, Jeremiah. You may now go back to sleep and stay that way until tomorrow morning.
Yeah.
And
your evening.
What are we doing tomorrow, Doobie?
Same thing you do every day.
Trying to, I don't know, what's this Pinky in the Brain or something?
We're going to do a walk and talk at Universal.
Oh, we're doing a walk and I'm excited about that. Our friend Becky says 220 and Topolino's.
That's my new must-try restaurant. I haven't tried it yet.
Becky, have you been to Space 220? It's really good. You might want to check it out. I
We
know
lucked
she
out.
hasn't.
We lucked out. My sister managed to book us a reservation during our recent trip, so we were very fortunate.
Spectacular.
Yeah.
And at some point soon, we're going to give a long.
Yeah, we will.
long
I've been a
live
little
stream.
bit. I've been a little bit sick, but I'm okay now. So just a little bit sick.
Wait, you got sick from Space 220?
No, the weather changed. It got cold up here, and I didn't do well.
It got cold here today. Like,
I heard.
I didn't sweat completely until like about 2:00. Okay, we need to wrap this up now. We're doing hint promos. This isn't Disney Trivia Live.
Hey, that's coming up in about an hour and 15.
Assuming I get home in time, yes.
You'll get home in time.
All right. Thanks, Jeremiah. Thanks, Rebecca. Disney Trivia Live coming up in just over an hour. Rub the lamp. Oompa Loompa Jeremiah. And Doobie saying, toodles.
Smash that like button.